And we are back. Good evening, everyone, or good morning. I guess depending on where in the world you're watching this from. We're coming to you with Draw 8 action in the Prestige Hotels Resorts Curling Classic, brought to you by Curling Zone Curling Stadium. My name is Mark No. I am joined here by Will Sutton. Hey, Will, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, Mark? Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we've got a good game here between the fourth team ranked in the world, Team Fujisawa, taking on Diane Gushulak, who's, according to Curling Zones, ranked 129 in the world. Not familiar with Team Gushlak as much, but apparently these teams have had a long history playing each other, going back to as far back as 2014, which I didn't know that. That's kind of neat.
Oh, that is neat. And yeah, lots of experience on this Diane Gushlak team. Might not be well known as the number 4 ranked team Fujisawa, but Brett Richards, Blaine DeYager, and Diane Gushlak are all former provincial champions and have Scotty's experience. So lots of experience here on this team from Vernon, BC.
Oh, nice. And I think that's kind of what I really enjoy about all these curling zones and curling stadium, broadcasts, right? It brings exposure to teams that we'll just say like aren't the well-known slam teams, as I like to call them, right? And get some exposures for their fans, their sponsors, their friends and family. So, pretty neat that we're getting to kind of see these types of events.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially with all sheets of the action here, and this here being a pretty big game, I think, with both these teams sitting at 2-1. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, nice. So yeah, this pretty pivotal matchup. Thank you to everyone that's joined us, whether you're joining us from Facebook or joining us from YouTube. So we are keeping an eye on the chat. So feel free to chime in the chat where you guys are watching from. So yeah, thanks for everyone that's joining us. I think we already had, gosh, close to 100 people before we started the broadcast, and now we're getting close to 300. So that's awesome to see. We did miss a pretty big first end with Fujisawa taking 3 here, so Gushlak is going to try their best to get it back. They've got a corner established here, but if Fujisawa gets a good center guard here, they're going to have to try to navigate it here. So we'll see where this rock ends up.
Yeah, definitely likely to see some offense here in the first end with Gushlak trailing by 3 with the hammer and Fujisawa throwing a guard so early in the end. I think it's a sign of some rocks in play. I think both teams are.
Yeah, and it looks like it's a decent start for what they want here. So with this rock partially fair, do you ever make a play on it, or do you just go behind the corner and knowing you're going to have to make some sort of run later?
They're both good options, and the only thing I say about this is this draw around the corner is probably a little more higher percentage shot than that hit and roll. And you also just kind of threw this corner, so it's nice to use it early in the end. So both good options, the hit and roll or the draw. But I like this call here to throw a draw early in the end and establish some draw weight.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. There's been plenty of times where I see corners go up and then never, ever get touched, and I'm just always wondering, like, why even throw it then? But this one looks to be pretty good. Going a little bit late to get the finish here, but that's in a really nice spot. So what are we looking for here? Just a quiet wait and kind of get rid of it?
Yeah, it looks like Yumi Suzuki's been asked to throw sort of a board or control weight based on that ice. We've seen a tremendous amount of curl here all week when you throw those sort of down weight hits, and we continue to see that as that might have just been about hack weight, maybe hack or board.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been really a lot of curl here, and you're especially see it as a little. You can definitely see it on that inside out path, right? And me personally, I love swinging ice, but I can imagine it makes for some pretty tough conditions. But then again, with the no tick off the center line, maybe you kind of almost need that really swingy ice.
So looking to put the corner guard on here.
Sweeper's not super concerned with this one here. That's just gonna come on down to it. Was that the call? Just coming down for it, or not reset the corner?
The call was the corner guard. I think it was just a little bit too much kick there, and the ice is starting to keen up in some of those paths that have been thrown down 3 or 4 times.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I mean, it's a pretty good result because it's going to be tough to get rid of both here. You would have liked to have a corner, but still have rocks in play ultimately.
Yeah, and there might be some consideration here if it's too tough to get rid of to save your shooter. But it looks like they're going to use the upweight ability here and try to make the double.
Real positive extension there on the release. Going hard for line. Should be pretty close here. Let's see where it ends up here. Yep, just right on the beak.
And yeah, a nice. And now that we look at that, I think that was the call. It was. I don't believe the double was there. So just trying to get as close to the nose as you could. So really nice shot there.
Yep. Now looks like we're gonna go ahead and try to get the play to the center here. Trying to get to, I guess, maybe just a hair on the inside and just kind of flop towards the center line here. I always like it when the skip kind of flips around the brim the other way, so you can see exactly where you're hitting. You don't see a ton of that, but it's always nice to be able to see that, I think.
Looks like board weight's the call here. One of the challenges is going to be where the shooter ends up here to not leave a double for Team Fujisawa in a minute.
And they make contact, but end up spilling out here. And I guess, I didn't even notice it. I guess they must have hit it really thin, because that Fujisawa stone ends up looks to be in the back 4 or so.
Yeah, it's nice for Team Fujisawa. They just threw this shot, so chance to really just rinse and repeat here and hit this on the nose or maybe make a slight roll, depending on. I think it was just a nose hit indicated there.
Yep. A little bit softer on the release, but I think it'll be just fine. Super scoring this, and does get to the inside, so it does get a little bit of a flop. We got Joe Pod asking in the chat, asking if the Spunsbills will be playing with the no tick zone. Yep, they are playing with the no tick off the center line here. So, Will, what's your thoughts on that? The no tick rule?
I think it's good, and I think it's good that early on in the season here, it's teams are getting a chance to train with it and compete with it, so that they'll be doing what they will be at the next levels of play. So I think overall it's a good thing, and it'll make for some interesting games in the later ends for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's I think it's. I understand the intent of it, right? Sometimes it's no fun watching a bunch of blanks. So having it in play does kind of create some action, and I understand the argument that it punishes teams in the lead. I get that, but it's led to some really exciting curling, I think, and so I think it's a step in the right direction. Whether that's the final solution, probably not, right? Curling's a ever evolving sport, but I like where they're going with it.
And a nice hit and roll there. Would have been nice to roll a little bit shorter, but very close. And Fujisawa now with a chance just to hit this yellow rock a little bit on the left-hand side of the rock here from your screen's perspective, and sit 3 here to force an out-turn draw
Yeah.
for Team Gushalak.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, not a. Of course, yeah, they would have liked to bury it, but it does open it up, and we'll give them some pass. Still a few rocks to go, so first of skips rocks here for Team Fujisawa. Going hard for the line here. Now looks like maybe for the weight as well. Backing off it just a little bit here, and so they are going to make contact, and yep, wow. Just squeaks it by that, the one in the back 4, so. Now, decision time here for Gushlak. I suppose you can always try to get to that back one, but then it's a short run. So you're going to play off the top one here to try to roll behind the center?
Yeah, I think there's an option to kind of throw that out turn draw around the center, but obviously the Team Fujisawa can just use that blue rock that Diane's indicating here. So the challenge with that hit and roll she's indicating is that blue would jam. So I think if they're going to make the double, they have to be committed to not making a roll here. I think if you make the hit and roll, you are likely to jam that rock. So it looks like they've. I'm not sure what the call was, whether they're playing the hit and roll or actually just the nose double here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I wonder if the hit and roll is there with firm weight, but with this ice, I don't think they can't be throwing firm here. So we'll see. We'll see what I think they'd be happy with either or. I think asking for both is a bit too much where the rocks are lined up, and that's just kind of a testament of how well that hit was placed by Team Fujisawa.
Exactly. Brett Richards throwing the skip rocks for Team Gushalak.
And pretty quiet weight here. Initial sweep for line, now trying to carve it in here. I'm going to make contact with the top one, but not quite get to the inside. So it does roll in front of the other Fujisawa rock, and so we'll have to see where they go. My guess is that they're just going to kind of ignore it. And they could go under center and just try to leave in a spot where there's no doubles.
Yeah, there's some risk to playing that hit if you ever nosed it and jammed it, and also some opportunity to leaving that yellow there and as it's protecting your rock in the back 4. So I think this is the appropriate call to put one in the top 4 foot. The key just is not going to the back 4 or the back 8 where you might leave some sort of double for. That's right where she signaled on her broom here. That's kind of that spot I think they're going to try to avoid. But if you can keep it or get it that deep, just not to leave a double there off the 2 blues.
Yeah, no reason to play anything off this top yellow, right?
Exactly. It's helping you at this point. If the other team uses it to raise for 1 on their next, that's just fine.
Yeah, Joe Pot in the chat just saying it's good to. Yeah, I think it makes sense to do it at this point, especially the Olympic cycle, right? And give teams to kind of figure out strategies with it. Yeah, so like I said, it's like I said, hopefully leads to less blanks, even though it's kind of fun to see how teams can go from crowded houses to blanks, but then ultimately multiple blanks in the game is not always fun to watch, at least in my opinion. This rock here's just going a hair deep, a lot deep. It's hard to tell from this angle if they're sitting 1-2 or not.
And I guess the question, it looks like it's just going to be the draw for 1 there. The question that had gone a little deeper would be if you could sort of nose that yellow and be second shot, but but definitely can't do that having a look there at the angle. So it'll just be the out turn draw for a point here.
Final rock for Team Gushlak. Needing a good amount of the forefoot here, yeah?
Exactly, and for Brett, she's had a chance to have the pregame practice and see that first end, so hopefully going to throw somewhere around 14 and a half here if this path has had a few rocks down it. Sister Blaine de Jager, they're sweeping, and
this one's curling quite a bit here.
I had a 1538 on the hog to hog there, so that does show a sign of being a bit down.
So at least a steal of one. They're kicking these rocks off, so maybe I think it was just a steal of one here. So we'll have that official amount here when we kind of get back, but right now steal for Team Fujisawa. So Gushlak will be taking hammer going into the third, and we'll be back after this break.
And welcome back to the third end of play here. You're just seeing Diane Gushulak for Team Gushlak throwing the corner guard here after Team Gushlak came up a little bit light on that draw for one in the second end of this game.
Yep, and we're able to confirm that it was a single steal there. So looking to go on the offense here. Decent start with Team Fujisawa going deep on their opening rock here, and we'll see what they do if they elect to go ahead. Probably just go, I guess, just top 8 on that line, or reset the center.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously a little heavy there with the first, but the end plan still stays the same for this second lead rock. So just ask for it to be in the top 8, top 4 foot, I would imagine. If the score was a little bit closer, you might have seen a center guard be thrown and try to bring play to the middle, but anytime you have a 3 or 4 point lead, sort of dictates that play into the rings early in the end.
Yeah.
And now for Team Gushlak again, they're like the second end. We're seeing them use this corner guard right away. Based on the scoreboard, another option might be to put up another corner guard.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, especially with Fujisawa being back T, right? At that point, those rocks essentially could help you, right? So I think this might be a little early to go in the rings, and oh wow, and they actually end up taking their own guard and rolling towards covering part of the rocks in the center now. And they are quick to top and look for something. I think initially they were looking for center guard, but I guess they're going to go ahead and bring it into the rings here.
Yeah, probably a good discussion there from somebody on the front end or the third on the team there. Just saying maybe based on the scoreboard, we want to play this one in the rings. If the score was a little closer, you might call the center guard here. However, you are likely going to be. Looks like they went with the center guard, so not a bad option. But
yeah,
if you're what I'd say about this shot is if you're Team Gushlak, you're not terribly unhappy that the other team's throwing guards when they're 4 up, but you are seeing Diane have to walk up and deal with it. So Team Fujisawa was pretty happy if Team Gushlak's peeling on their at this point in the game. So nice shot there.
Yeah. Now, do you like this peeling the blue here, or do you ever take a shot at running your own back into there?
I wonder if based on the end right now, and it looks like they're going to have that dialogue as a team here maybe, but based on the end, maybe there's another option to play a softer weight shot. Um, I love the triple there if you make it, and you've got a couple corner guards to use
Sure.
later in the end. But if you ever roll out or don't make it, you are 4 down in this game, and it is pretty early in the end. So this isn't the wrong call, but I just think based on the scoreboard, there might be some softer weight options out there this early in the end. But if you make this, it's great. You'll have 3 guards up, and there should be no blue in play.
Oh yeah, you make it, you look like a genius, right? So. So it does look like they're going to make a play on the center, and they'll get...
Really nice shot.
Yep, very well done. See if we can get this one out the side. Can't quite get it out, but does move it out quite a ways here. Now they do leave the throne rock as a guard here, so Fujisawa will have the option to draw around. But then Gushlak will be able to make a similar run, but this time running back their own here. So,
yeah, and Team Fujisawa is showing they want to continue to play offense, even with so many yellow rocks sort of in that control zone or area that Team Gushlak will be able to use a little later in this end. Looks like they're going to play defense with offense here in the third end of this game.
Yeah. Now Joe does in the chat does bring up a good point here. Is it time to give up and try setting up for a blank? It's gonna be tough with that one out on the wings there. So we'll see. I think a lot of it's gonna be based on how this one rock ends up here.
Yeah, and based on the last 2 calls, I think Gushlak is sort of thinking that way. They've played hits and run backs, so looks like they've been playing calls the last 2 ends that I think would line up with maybe an end plan now that has shifted to blank, based on how things got started here.
Oh, and they end up hitting the attempted run just a bit on the high side, ends up peeling their own out, which does completely open up the center. But now with Fujisawa sitting 3 in the rings here and opportunities to replace the guard with their own, seems to be well in control of this end.
Yeah, it's been an interesting end to see Fujisawa throw so many guards when up, but it is the appropriate call here based on the situation. So she'll continue to play offense here and try to put a really nice 3-zone center guard on this rock.
On and off here from the sweeper, so generally a pretty good sign here. And just escorting it down, and they are going to get it pretty tight. Does cross over the center and does overcurls a slight bit, but still covering up a good majority of that rock.
Maybe some options just to tap that rock back, or even freeze to it still. With all those blue in the rings, it's very likely you're not getting a blank now. So maybe just navigating those rocks to a position you might be able to use them a little later. Like the way Diane was headed there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think with as much as the ice is curling, I think you're able to get to the low side of shot rock here. So looks like we're probably, I guess, maybe just throwing in that maybe natural T here. just cleaning from the sweepers here. Now they're kind of backing off just a little bit. It's got some curling to do here. And does need to check up. That is... Wow, is that going to be through? Yeah. And now, with that miss, Fujisawa is going to be able to look at a couple options to completely close that door. And looks like she's attempting to put it back where... put it right where Team Gushlak was going to go.
Yeah, she's signaling for the 5, which is generally top 8 foot there. So 14.55 on this one, just to give you a little indication of what the draw weight is out there right now. And
wow. Yep.
We've generally been seeing that on the games I've had the chance to watch. Anyhow, that first couple rocks down a path might be 14 or 13.75, but after 3 or 4 rocks, the speed gets right up, and really nice ice with lots of swing, and
yeah,
and about 14.5 to 15 hog to hog.
Yeah, I can only dream on this type of ice. I play on arena ice, like shared hockey ice in Oklahoma, and it's
Okay.
It's you've got to throw it pretty firm here, just to draw. It's quite an experience.
You'll have to come to a bond spill out in Vernon one day and experience the curl.
Oh yeah, no, I'd love to. Yeah, definitely. Anywhere in Canada is on my list, honestly, just to get up there.
So Blaine de Jager here is the 3rd for Team Gushlak.
And this one's going to overcurl and tick the guard again. Oh my. Well, good news is that they have something to run here.
Yeah, I think the bad news is it might not be there in a moment once Team Fujisawa puts up this, or if Fujisawa is successful with this outturned center guard.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's really going to be really tough to navigate. Yeah.
In terms of the implications for this game, obviously this shot's important, but the implications for this game, the winner will go to 3-1 and guarantee themselves at least being in the playoffs, whereas the loser will go to 2-2, and it looks like in this pool does not guarantee you anything. So it's would have to kind of have some help from some other games that are happening out there, particularly the Tabata game happening a couple sheets over, but so a big game here for both teams, sitting at 2-1, and obviously both wanting to get to 3-1, and only one being able to tonight.
Yeah. Will we have any of the women's tiebreaker games tonight, or would that be set for tomorrow? Do you happen to know?
I believe it's all at 9 p.m. tonight. Actually, that's a good question, actually, whether the women's tiebreakers would be tomorrow. We'll get back to you on that once we check with Jerry during the break.
Having to go hard to make it curl to try to cover the center line here. Being helped out a little bit, and they had a lot of room to curl, but it does finish quite nicely. And so, I mean, it's that run is still ultimately there, but the degree of difficulty is just a touch higher now.
And I managed to use the internet rather than checking with Jerry, so that the tiebreaker game for the women's would be at 8 p.m. tonight, if that happens. So
yeah,
Googled that.
Yeah, plenty of information on Curling Zone. You can find scores, team lineups, the playoffs, the standings, world rankings, all sorts of great stuff on there. I mean, I browse it when I'm like broadcasting the game, but I should probably take some time in between to take a look at it.
It's a great way if you're at home just wanting to click through the games. At the bottom of each line score, there's that watch live button. So it's when I've
Yeah.
been watching at home, I've kind of just used it through that on my phone. It's worked really well.
Yeah, Chadley, I did, that's correct. I do say, I am playing in Oklahoma City. I do curl out of here. It's my home club.
So
There's actually, go ahead.
in a tough spot here for obviously for team Gushalak, there may be an option there to kind of hit both those rocks at the same time and sort of scoot through. Um, but not sure where, and I think maybe the conversation is just where it will redirect once it sort of scoots through there.
Yeah.
That it looks to me that is what the discussion is happening right now, just because that double run back is so tough.
Yeah, it is a tough situation here. I mean, but I think scooting through is, so even if they make the shot where they scoot through, right? I mean, you're tapping one, right? You're never. I mean, it sets you up for your next one, but then you're gonna have this similar run on your last one, won't you? Assuming, then they put the guard.
Yeah, so it looks like is the decision here just to play the angle run back.
I suppose so. Unless they are trying to come through the hole here. I mean, I guess we'll know based on the weight out of her hand here. I suppose this is one of the only ways she can get a double, maybe. But even then, that's going to be tough.
Brett Richards, the last rock thrower for Team Gushalak.
So it does look to be pretty firm weight. See if they can just slam that back into the pile, and does make contact and gets them moving. Maybe not happy with the result, but I mean, ultimately does set them up for something on their last one, right? Because there's the slash on the out turn side, there's the run on the in turn side. They've got. I would say they improved their position. That's for sure.
Yeah, it looks to me like the best opportunity right now for Team Gushalak to score is using that yellow rock that is on the left hand side of your screen there, just about biting the top 12 foot. So guarding that rock will probably likely be the call here, and I'm not sure I see a whole lot for Team Gushalak on the right hand side of the sheet there to score. So
No.
may force some sort of angle raise out here from this corner guard here, which would make for a very high degree of difficulty shot. So I think they've landed on the right call here because even though there may be a slash over there, I don't know that it'd be a score, just because you're likely going to be rolling away at least a couple feet.
Sure. Yeah, I think this is going to be pretty tough here. Chadley, you're in Edmond. Yeah, so we actually curl right by Edmond. We're just right on that line between Oklahoma City and Edmond at Arctic Edge Ice Rink. Yeah, if I don't recognize that name if that's a club member, but if you're interested in curling, come check us out.
So Team Fujisawa just looking to take this raise away and make life really difficult for Team Gushalak in the third end here.
Does over curl quite a bit, but oof, they can see a third of it. But are they gonna? They're asking how much they can see here because of where they have to hit it. Because I mean, you kind of want to throw this with just through weight, like easy hack.
Yeah, you could really make it with back line. So technically, technically it might be there, just based on there's going to be some curl after you get by that blue guard. So
Sure.
but But the nice thing about this one is it might just be a little bit less precise, and it's definitely there.
Yeah.
I think that they might be leaning a little more towards this shot just because um, it's it is a little bit thinner,
Yeah.
but doesn't have to maneuver that guard quite as much at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. This one's. I mean, they're. Oof. Yeah. Both visually are pretty tough, right? You have to deal with the blue guard, and then you have to deal with the steep angle for this one here. That's kind of on the left hand side. If you're throwing this shot, Will, which one do you like here for
Um,
yourself?
it's really a preference here, and I'm looking at this. I don't think the one closest to the center line is really there, unless you sort of throw like a back line sort of weight. So I like this one because the weight's not quite as important with this. It's really a line shot. So I like the one that Brett's landed on here, but it's really the one that the skip prefers, and it's always a little challenging on a team where the skips where the person calling the game's throwing the lead rocks, but. That's why these teams play in lots of bond spiels and have those sorts of dialogues. And hopefully Brett's close on this.
Yeah. Final rock for Team Gushlak. Looking to run their yellow into the pile. Sweeper's just cleaning it, waiting for the line call. Looks like they're going to have to carve it in a little bit, catch the corner. This is going to be pretty close. And what a shot.
Great shot.
Wow. What a shot. What the heck of a shot there. It's a hard single, hard force. I think takes a little bow there for it. And so Team Gushlak gets on the board with a hard-fought single. And so we'll be back here with fourth end. Team Fujisawa up 4-1 after this break. And we are back. After a heck of a shot there from Team Gushlak, great call, well swept. They get a hard-fought single. And get on the board here against a very good team, Fujisawa.
Exactly, yeah, and a very nice last rock there, and good discussion from the whole team around the weight and the line there throughout the shot. So a really nice team shot for Team Gushalak to in a game that's been going all Fujisawa's way. We saw some smiles there at the end of that end. So we'll see how things go for them here in this fourth end of the game, and that one just coming a little bit deep for lead Eureka Yoshida. So Team Gushalak now with the decision on whether they put up another guard or freeze to that rock.
Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of interesting here. I think they're talking both discussion. I think with the no tick, I think you do have to play a center here of some sort.
I think so. Yeah, it's really a scoreboard situation where because you're down 3 without the hammer, and it's not a 10-end game; it's just an 8-end game. You really do want to try to steal one this end, and that'll involve a little bit of offense and trying to bring play back to the middle. So Diane there's just indicating I think she wants a center guard rather than trying to double guard kind of off the center line there. And
Yeah.
And in fairness to Brett, I think her rationale is if those rocks are in a straight line, they're a lot harder to double peel later on in the end. So
Sure.
not sure who's right here, but it looks like a good discussion without having any microphones on them and trying to interpret a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. But I just do want to bring it back to that was a heck of a shot in the third end, and I'm glad we were able to basically be able to capture that through curling zone and through the curling stadium, right? I think there's tons of well, not tons, but there's quite a few shots like these that are being made, right? These crazy doubles, these angle runs, right? These really really tough draws that we probably miss out on tons of curling clubs, but but being able to see this and for being able to 600 people on YouTube was able to see that shot just now live, right? I think that's really great. That might be a shot that I'll work on and maybe clip it and share it on Twitter later if I can figure out the best way to do that. I tried that last week on a shot made by Oh gosh, who was it? Oh, that's gonna fade me. It was another American too, but I was able to share that. But I want to try to work it where it's embedded into the
Well,
and autoplays on Twitter.
Well, there's no question. There have been world-class shots made at the Prestige Hotel Curling Classic for years, but thanks to Curling Stadium, you're right. These shots are getting brought to everybody, not just the people in the Vernon area who are there watching. So it is really cool that so many of these shots and so many people have been able to enjoy this curling as opposed to previous years when this sort of coverage didn't exist for this event.
Yeah, exactly.
And really nice shot from Team Fujisawa there, showing they really have a good understanding of where to place the broom and end of draw weight there, putting that rock there in front of the tee line.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's wonderfully done, right? I think the consensus has been for a lot of these specific Asian teams, right, is that they're very mechanically good, right? But the strategy had some and rock placement specifically had some catching up to do with some of the traditional curling nations. But I think it's quite evident that the rest of the world is kind of catching up to some of the traditional curling powerhouses.
Yeah, there's no question. There's lots of teams from Japan and Korea who have all the tools strategically and tactically to compete with the best teams in Canada and right across the those Asian countries. So it's great to see how the game's developed over the last number of years and great to see so many teams supporting these events here from Japan.
Yeah. And as we say that, Team Gushlak just goes right on top here. And now we are going to start seeing Fujisawa start opening up the center here a little bit.
Yeah, and keeping things simple, just indicating she just wants the single peel.
Does make contact, goes through the hole, no problem. And does kind of roll off to the side. I don't know if they were intending to roll it way far off or just at least or just off the draw path there.
And so Diane's just asking for a rock here in the top 12 foot. I believe she indicated just in front of that yellow. Likely see likely see Fujisawa try to play some sort of double peel. You would think if this was made as it's been called.
Yeah.
Alyssa Kylo here throwing the second rocks for Team Gushalak.
Now it looked like where Diane had tapped, she indicated she wanted it closer to the center line, and not necessarily dead covering that one, and this one does end up just crossing over the center line here. Now, I guess I was curious if they really wanted it to, dead cover that one, or just cover the high side here.
I think they made that as called. They didn't want it to curl too much and make the double peel easier. So I think they made that one as called. And Fujisawa here again has the option there of playing a double peel, but I think it's smart just to peel the problem rock there based on the scoreboard and also based on the fact that Diane is going to have to deal with those two blue rocks. Well, one blue rock anyhow that's in a very good spot.
Yeah.
The one in the back 8 foot not so good, obviously.
So we'll see just kind of a little, I guess this little cat and mouse game, and see who makes maybe, I guess, a half shot, and then who's kind of brave to take on the other one. This one is gonna end up just straddling center line, so it does effectively cover up no hole through the port here. And we'll take a look and see what the options are. And looks to be indicating again straight peeling that one. Do you ever take a shot at this double peel with their kind of slashing it?
If I don't think so. Just based on the score and based on the really good positioning of that blue rock. If the position wasn't so good in the house for Team Fujisawa, you may see that consideration. But Diane is going to have to deal with is going to have to bring play into the house sooner or later. So I like that based on the scoreboard, they're continuing to deal with the problem rock there.
Ah, good point, Will.
So for Diane now, though, getting a little later in this end,
Yeah.
if they just continue to guard, won't really play itself out well. So you might see them play a tap at some point here, or a freeze. One of the challenges with just coming, say, on the center line tight is you may actually set up a double on the Gushlak yellow. So it's all about the angles here. So it's okay to come right in like she's indicating,
Mhm.
but you just don't want to be on the high side of this rock. You'd rather, and what I mean by the high side, I mean the center line side of the rock, yeah, is what you want to avoid here.
Gotcha. Now, is she wanting to come down to it? Like, is it important to be very close to it, where you're never removing the yellow, or the yellow that's already in the rings here, or do you want some distance?
I believe she's just called the freeze here, so coming right down to it, but
Okay.
I'm not certain. It's really one of those shots. It's the guard is acceptable here for sure.
Yeah. And I think she did want the freeze, but they knew it wasn't there, so good communication. Sweepers decided to pull up, and now they've dead covered it, and so I guess Fujisawa's got some options here. Yep, they're indicating possibly tapping of their own to unlock it a little bit. I guess it could also just kind of wrap one in there and just kind of freeze as well. They'll have a little team discussion here.
Yeah, there are still two yellow rocks up there that could be a problem later on if a run back was ever made. So opportunity here for Fujisawa, but important to place this rock somewhere that it avoids Team Gushlak being able to run one of those yellows straight back onto those frozen rocks. So yeah, even walking up and considering a peel right now isn't the wrong thing based on the scoreboard. There's you're really scoring one here is all Fujisawa needs to do,
Yep.
and those two rocks in the yellow, those two yellow rocks in the free guard zone are what would probably be keeping her away from that later on in the end, most likely. So they had a good discussion there, and it looks like the decision is to play the double peel.
Nice. Yeah, I've always kind of heard that saying it's never a bad idea to kind of peel the guards, and I think this is a good example of that.
Yeah, it's always, if you're not sure what to say, sometimes as a lead or whatever, just say peel the guards. It can't be a bad idea.
Oh,
And really nice bonus
that's
there to get that rock.
that's wow. That's I mean that's best case, right? They essentially unlock it, which maybe was a concern later in the end. Get the double peel now. Now Gushlak will have a hit, and they'll have to be careful where they leave this, right? They can hit and sit two, but they don't want to leave a double here.
Exactly, yeah. And if you make the double, you'll leave an easy double right back. So I'm not sure if they're trying to make I believe just the hit and roll away, and but still be sitting two. The other option is to kind of just come across the nose there and make the double there. But as we were
Oh,
indicating,
yeah,
it would leave a pretty simple double.
yeah. Going hard here for line. we'll definitely get there. It does end up going to the inside and just kind of catches the one on the back and moves everything in the rings here. But looks like they're just gonna play. Well, I guess there is a discussion here because there's not the slash double. You never keep the shooter here. They.
Well, it looks like right now Team Gushlak is lying 2, but if you hit that rock on the far right of your screen right now first,
Yeah.
it looks like they should both go pretty easily. So I'm a little surprised that they're not gonna hit that one first. But it looks like they're just gonna hit it right in the crotch, and that should be fine, and
Yeah.
both should go there. So it looks like they've got the broom in the right place, and they're gonna throw the intern here.
Oh, Matthew, thank you for the conversion, and thanks for, I guess, the donation to the stream. Yeah.
Really nice shot there from Team Fujisawa.
Yep. Does move that rock out to the 12 foot, so now Fujisawa is sitting 1-2. There's maybe a double here, but that's pretty steep.
Yeah, it looks like hit and roll here might be an option here off that rock in the top 4 foot, and hopefully rolling to a place that in front of that blue that's in the back 8.
Well, they are going to take a look at this double, see if it's there. But like I said, I think that's a tough ask. I think rolling's probably the call here. While they look at this here, just quick update on some of the other sheets here, as we do got some other games. For those that are interested, you can just go to curlingzone.com, see the event. You can see the little YouTube button. They'll directly take you to the stream of all the games that their coverage is for. So looks like Team Skrillex is up 3-1 over Tabata. Team Gim up 4-0 over Team Gucci in the 4th end. Kirizawa's up 3-2 over Team Parent. Hunkin's up 4-1 over Team Cowan in the 4th. And Team Work is up 4-1 over Brown in the 4th here. So while I was busy looking at the other scores, what did they end up deciding on? Are they taking on the double, or is it just the hit and roll here?
I didn't actually see there, so apologies there. We're going to wait and see.
Okay. Decent weight here. Just heavy clean here. Makes contact and hits it on the high side. And rolls out to 12 foot. I don't think.
Yeah, really surprised there to see that was the decision not to try to keep your shooter in play and maybe roll in front of that blue, but nonetheless that was the call, and really nice opportunity here for Fujisawa to have a draw to the 8 foot for 2.
It looks like they're taking a little bit less ice and having their backing. When you're faced with this, do you prefer to do that to the backing, or are you just trying to draw to the pin every time?
Well, but this shot, it's really about the path that you know the best. So whether it's this path or it's the draw to the button path, really doesn't make a difference. I don't really like to think about throwing to the backing on a shot like this, just because there really isn't that far to tap that rock. It is your own stone there, so if you bumped it too far, so I think you really just want to think about drawing this one to the top 8 foot and letting your sweepers do all the work.
Yep. Last stone for Team Fujisawa. Yep. Sweepers managing it just nicely. This should sell in just fine. Yep. So Two more on the board for Team Fujisawa. They'll take a 6-1 lead. Team Gushlak will have hammer going into the 5th after the break. And we're back with coverage for Draw 8 of the Prestige Hotels and Resorts Curling Classic. My name is Martin O. I'm joined on broadcast today by Will Sutton, and we've got a good game here between Team Fujisawa and Team Gushlak here. A really well played end. This last end, you know, some interesting angles and some interesting decisions by both teams here.
Absolutely. Even though Team Fujisawa's had a relatively large lead since the first end, they've still wanted to have lots of offense and rocks in play, and we've seen Fujisawa throwing more guards and Team Gushlak throwing more runbacks and hits in the first half of this game. So it's it's been really interesting to watch, even though the scoreboard maybe indicates a bit of a runaway.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think we saw that pistol made in the third end here, you know, with that really good angle raise by Team Gushlak, right? That it's kind of brought life to the team, and like I said, I think they played well in the fourth end. Didn't get quite the role that they wanted on their last rock, leaving Fujisawa with a pretty wide open draw here. So we'll look to see if they can set up some steal opportunities this end. Or actually, not steal opportunities.
Just a force to one here, and
yeah.
Maybe a steal might come out of nowhere, though. Sometimes that happens when the other team's forced to play so much offense on you. And just taking a look here at the line scores, the winner of this game, it will be a big win. Looking at things, Kayla Skrilik is up 5-1 right now over Momoha Tabata in that other game over here. So the winner looks like it'll be 3-1 that you need to be at to advance in this pool. So lots on the line here in this Fujisawa Gushlak game.
So we see that Team Gushlak's opting to throw essentially corners on the same side here. Will, I've done a few of these broadcasts with a few different people. What's your take here on trying to setting up some offense here with hammer? Do you like setting up corners on the same side, or do you like going opposite sides?
A little bit depends on what you're expecting your opposition to do. So they've gone in with both rocks here and indicating they're not going to put a guard up. So I like the call to throw a second center, and putting it on the same side there. I think is fine. The nice thing about trying in this particular case, they came a little too close together, so the double peel is relatively easy. But if you can keep those rocks in a perfectly straight line, they're really hard to remove in a double peel situation without leaving another corner guard up. Whereas if you put those corner guards on opposite sides, unless they're perfectly parallel with each other, there'll likely be a double peel there of some sort. So I do like the corners on the same side here as one way to play against the play with the 5 rock rule.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people I talk to do like them on the same sides. They're trying to stack them, but yeah, you run into the challenge of making sure that you've got a good amount of depth in between here. So with a lot of rocks in play, Team Gushlak's going to have to start dealing with the centers here. Looks like I think they're just going maybe straight double peel on these. I don't know if there's a chance to try to roll to a spot under your corners here, but we'll see where they go with this.
And this is one of those moments where it's really important to keep your shooter in play, and also really important though to think, is it necessary to remove those opposition rocks from play right now? You're they're going to be going up and looking to remove your rocks from play. So sometimes just maneuvering those rocks to a new place, or maybe ignoring them till a little later in the end, might have been an option. I'm only saying that based on the scoreboard here, being that we're in the last 4 ends of play now, and Team Gushlak's trailing by 5.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they definitely wanted to keep keep your shooter, and then to a lesser extent maybe keep some of Team Fujisawa's stones around, right? Because they could kind of help you in in the situation if they're placed appropriately. But they are quick to peel here, and that's well done. Makes the double peel and rolls the thrown rock all the way across to the other side and gets it out.
Wonderful shot.
So now here, what are we looking to do? Are they going to make a play at the center here?
Yeah, so Diane's just looking to make a play here and move that one behind the tee line. Again, it's a little bit of grouping could happen here, just because you want to think, where is this yellow rock going to end up? So playing this shot, likely to leave some sort of double. So early on in the end here, there may be some other options here to potentially put up a corner guard still,
Yeah.
and maybe try to develop some offense that way, based on the scoreboard. But again, all you need is 2 here to get yourself back in the game. So Diane recognizing here that she does have a guard up there, and just trying to move this rock behind the tee line.
Which they do, yeah.
Yeah, and as you can see now, just that grouping though does give Fujisawa the option to either play a straight peel or make a run at the double, which I think is worth doing here with relatively low risk.
Yeah, no, I would agree. So if you could go take a step back here to the previous shot, what are some other options here to kind of keep those in play? Do you ever look at maybe a split on those, top yellow? I think it's tough to get separation where it doesn't leave an easy double behind, but is that ever a thought?
To not leave to split the rocks that were the guards there previously.
Yeah, to split that yellow guard if you're Team Gushlak.
Well, I think then you're still going to end up grouping them possibly. So I'm not sure a hit was necessarily appropriate, but anyhow, yeah.
All right, so now pretty open here, and now it's just going to be a matter of where you're going to put this rock here. So it looks like they're going to elect to throw. Is this a guard?
They are, yeah. So the reasoning I think for the guard is, if you don't throw the guard, they'll either have an open hit, and just try to avoid bringing play into the middle. I thought they might throw this guard a little earlier in the end to try to use, but it looks like they're just trying to throw the guard now. Hopefully, if they make the run back, it leaves a guard for Team Gushlak to use. Or if the run back isn't made, maybe it'll leave another corner guard up somewhere else. But likely see Team Fujisawa walk up and peel this rock, unless they have an opportunity to make a play on that rock in the rings.
Yeah. And if you're Team Gushlak, you kind of want them to chase the rock in the rings, and you're hoping for some sort of miss here, yeah. And just right on cue, it looks like, I mean, there's plenty of that rock. They can see good 2/3, and we know the ice is pretty swingy here, so should be able to get to it. And the question is, where do they want to necessarily roll to, I guess.
It looks like a nice board weight here, and
yeah, not overly concerned about Sweet. Definitely making good contact here, and does roll out to the wings and does give some separation here.
So the good news for Team Gushlak is they do have a guard up now, and a rock there they can use. So it looks like they've indicated for a hit here, a hit and roll.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, what you want to do is make this yellow is hard to remove on the next shot. So option to freeze here as well in terms of tolerance for the thrower. If you make that tap perfect, great. But nothing wrong here with making a freeze. What you don't want to be is throwing hack weight here or something, because you just
Yeah.
won't get that same amount of curl based on the ice, and you'll end up rolling away. So it's really important that you make sure everyone's on the same page here about where the broom is and what weight's being thrown for this kind of delicate shot.
Now, and ideally, if we're going this like little freeze tap, they do kind of want to try to get to the inside, right?
Well, it depends on if it's just going to be a freeze. You actually want to stay as close to the nose as you can, so there's no
Okay.
peel, no kind of high weight rip. But
Yeah.
looks like a
This
really
one
nice shot here, and
over curls just a bit. Wow.
that's never.
Wow. Yeah. It you just missed the freeze, and still it ends up going back 12 here. So a little problematic there for Team Gushlak, and now Team Fujisawa will have to kind of figure out where they want to place their rock. They have a couple options here. I think they've indicated they can either go top 4, they can even go down to that, yellow one, and essentially remove it from play, or remove it from ever counting here.
Yeah, I think the key here is you don't want to put this in a place where you're no longer able to use the yellow guard that's up right now, or the rock that's being thrown. So I think Team Fujisawa wants to be careful not to have this kind of overcurl and not allow them to use either rock later on in the end. So nothing wrong here with just being in the top 12 foot fully open.
Yeah. A little bit of final discussion here. And we'll see the first of the skips or fourths rocks here.
And the reason you want to be able to use either this rock that's being thrown or the guard on your next one is in case Gushlak makes the double off that blue rock in the 8 foot there on her next. So important here that they talk through the rock placement here and ensure they're going to leave themselves a shot with their last if.
Sweeper's on it, out of hand here. And there starts the move. Yeah, just right before the hog line, it seems to be cutting pretty good here. And this one is definitely going to curl behind the guard. And this one, similar to the last shot, does overcurl quite a bit. But with that kind of weight, it does end up settling. Looks to be, oh gosh, top 4, maybe to an 8 foot.
Yeah, that seemed to be where they were indicating for it to go, but I really think it was important to actually have that rock be somewhere touching the center line and protecting this rock now that Diane's going to try to hit and roll off of. But maybe it just overcurled there, actually.
Yeah. So there'll be a chance here with the Gushlak rock here. If they can ever hit and get to the inside, they've got a shot for a skip's deuce here, which if you had asked me a few rocks ago if that was on the table, I would have thought the chances would have been slim.
And yeah, just totally. And just rewinding things a bit, I heard you say just before the hog line, we saw those rocks start to break, and it's a really good point just to point out that generally speaking, on the ice that is swingy like this, what's happening there is the rocks are getting to the break point, and they're beginning to curl there, and especially with these teams, these high performance teams like Team Gushlak and Team Fujisawa, who are trying to throw the rock very straight and very accurately. They really want to see that rock run really straight for the first 2/3 of the sheet, and then once it hits that break point, start to curl. So what you saw there was definitely by design for these high caliber teams.
This one seems to be curling just a little bit earlier. Does clear the center guard, and will it clear the one in the top 8?
Great shot.
It does. Little bit of bad luck there, where it rolls to a spot where there is a port there that we might see Team Fujisawa just go ahead and take on here.
Absolutely. The good news for Team Gushlak by making that shot is should have a relatively simple draw for at least a point on this next one. but that chance at a deuce, you're right. If this little pick out's made, will go away. It's okay, I think, to be a little bit on the wide side of this one, and maybe touch that blue first on the right hand side of your screen. But obviously, you don't want to touch the blue on the left hand side of your screen first.
Yep. So what kind of weight are we looking for here?
Would expect this to be sort of peel weight for this team, so that 8.5 second weight probably. But we'll see what we get here.
On it initially here, sweeper's kind of backing off here, and it does end up ticking off the blue on the left-hand side of the house here. It does move that yellow rock a decent amount. Hard to tell if that's second or
It
not.
looks to me like Gushlak looks to me like Gushlak is second shot. However, the problem is I think you might have to run that rock back
Yep.
to be able to save your shooter. As you see here, Brett's just asking Blaine to indicate how much she can see there, and it is not enough. So I think the only option here to score 2 if Team Gushlak is second shot is to play that run back. And we are at a point of the game where you might see a serious conversation about doing that, because scoring 1 point here might just not be enough.
Yeah, this is the tough decision where you kind of have to make it. You know, like if you get one, do you giving hammer back to Fujisawa with the 4-point lead doesn't seem like a great situation. Looks like there'd be a bit of laughter back there. It was just a good sign here.
Brett and Blaine, sisters, have played together lots and won provincial championships and gone on to the Scotties from multiple provinces across Canada. So always lots of experience and time for a laugh out there, I think, even in these tough games, I'm sure.
And I guess another option here is with as much curls we're getting on the ice here, is there a soft weight hit where you can just kind of get around, like but on the out turn side though?
Well, I believe what you're seeing here is, while you can see more on the outturn side, this in-turn path actually curls more. So even though you can see less of it, it looks like they've decided on, they're definitely not throwing the in-turn draw with that ice. So it looks like they've landed on sort of an in-turn drag, draw, tap thing that might not remove that blue from play, but will push it far enough to potentially still score 2. So taking lots of risk here based on the scoreboard. If the game was a bit closer, you'd probably see Team Gushlak just draw for their point. But good scoreboard management here, and recognizing there might be a chance for a multiple.
Final rock for Team Gushlak, looking for just a tap on shot rock to try to score a deuce here. Going hard on the sweep here just to try to move it over, and we're gonna get air. So my guess is steal of 1 there for Team Fujisawa. I think Gushlak was sitting second.
Yeah,
and we see
like
handshakes.
Confirmation from the skipper there, and it'll be handshakes in 7.
Handshake. So Team Fujisawa, with a well-played game, they to finish at the top of their pool, ends up winning this game 7-1 over Team Gushlak here. So thanks for everyone that's joined us on the YouTube feed here. My name's Martinell, joined by Will, and hope you guys enjoyed the coverage of this game. If you guys are still looking for additional curling action, you can just go to the Curling Zone YouTube page, go to Curling Zone. You can click on any of the little YouTube buttons on the on the events page to go to another game. But yeah, thanks Wolf. Thanks for joining me.
Lots of fun. Thanks for having me, and hope to do it again sometime.
Bye everyone.